I smashed HackerRank's left rotation coding challenge. Hello guys, it's your boy Pascal. If you are interested in enhancing your coding skills for a fee or exploring my software and web development services, I invite you to chat me up on any of the platforms listed in the description below. I look forward to connecting with you. Okay guys, we are on HackerRank website. Now HackerRank is a platform that provides online coding tests and technical interviews. Let's read the challenge together. A left rotation operation on an array of size n shifts each of the array's elements 1 unit to the left. Given an integer d, rotate the array that many steps left and return the result. Example, d equals to array equals 1 2 3 4 5. So that's an array whose variable name is arr. It's containing 5 elements 1 2 3 4 5. After 2 rotations, now another array labeled as r with a mark on top like an apostrophe. It's containing elements 3 4 5 1 2. Now this is the function description. You go down, returns, input format, constraints, sample input, sample output, explanation, and so on. So this is the array challenge question. So we'll be solving it very soon. Next, we open VS Code. Okay, let me zoom in. Let me open my terminal. So I want to open a folder known as Arrays Challenge. This folder was created in the very first video in this playlist. Okay, let's open it. Good, we are now on this very folder, Arrays Challenge. Okay, so what we are gonna do now is we are gonna create a new file that will call left rotation solution .js. Okay guys, let's move to the whiteboard. Here we want to decompose this problem so that writing the code will be very easy for us. Okay, so the array that was given is this. Now when we rotate this array 1 unit to the left, we will have this. So what happened here was these two move 1 unit to the left like this. This element 3 move 1 unit to the left here. 4 the same thing, and 5 like this. Let me expand a little bit. So this implies that the first element, which is now 2, used to be the second element. I will copy this paste here, also paste. Change this to 1, 2, 3. Change this to 2, 3, and 4. So this is basically what just happened here. Because when you look at this, you'll find out that this first element here, currently the first element is 2, which is this array with index 0. That is index 0. The element has index 0. The current second element is now this element at index 1. 4 is the current element at index 2. 5, the current element at index 3. Then from here, initially 2 was the second element. Initially 3 was the third element. And initially 4 was the element at index 3, or the fourth element. And initially 5 was the element at index 4. So what is remaining now is the element at index 4 currently. So from what we have, the element at index 4 currently is 1. As you can see here, 1. The element at index 4 currently is 1. So how do we move it? Normally, we would have set it as array or element at index of 0. Array element at index of 0. If we do this, it will be very, very wrong. Why? Because currently the element at index 0 is currently 2. So that means we are taking 2 to be at the last element in this array presently. So this will be wrong if we do this, because the element at index 1, sorry, the element at index 0 has changed. It is no longer 1, it is currently what? 2. So if we do this, it will be wrong. So what will happen is we are going to clean out this. We are going to create a copy of this array that we'll call array copy. Create a copy of the array. The initial form of the array was this. So we'll create an array copy. So once we've done this, we are now going to set the elements, or the last element with index 4 to be the first element in the copy of the array. So what we just did is, since we can't pick these 2, which is currently the element at index 0, to place it at the last part, or to make it the final element here. So what we do is, when we made a copy of this array as it is in the initial state. So what we now do finally is that we are now going to move this element 1. This is the element we are going to move. We are now going to pick it, like rotate to this very point to become this very last value here. So that was happened. So that was why you created this copy of the array, so that there won't be any clash. Good. So what we'll do now is we'll go to VS Code and replicate this. So before we replicate this, let's go to the website HackerRank. Okay, let me copy this and paste here. So we're writing our code here. So I'll start by doing this array index of 0. Set it to this index 1. Let me copy this, paste, paste, and paste. So I will change the 0 here to 1, change this to 2, and change this to 3. I will change 1 here to 2, change this to 3, and change this to 4. So this is the initial part of our code. So once I've done this, the next thing is I will create the copy array, which is containing these elements. Okay, once I've done this, I will now set the last element as the first element in the copied on the copy of the array. That's the new array. Okay, let's go back to the board. So we just moved 1 unit to the left. Well, let's look at the question first. So from the question you see that d is equal to 2. So d is equal to 2 means there are 2 rotations to the left. So from here in the question, we move the element 1 unit to the left. But now we are given an integer d. So it could be any number of words moves. But in this case, for the example that was given, we are moving 2 times. So we move 1 unit, we are going to move another 1 unit. So let's go to the board. So to move another 1 unit, I will simply come here. I will copy this. And I copy this. I will paste it here. So when I paste this here, what this is saying is that, okay, let's put the current state. The current state of the array will now be this. Current state of the array is this now, 2, 3. After moving 5, 1, as we've represented earlier here. Okay, so once we've done this now, we move again. How do we move? This is how we move. This array will now become something like this. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. It will be like this. So this 3 move 1 unit to the left like this. 4, 1 unit to the left. 5, 1 unit to the left. 1 unit to the left. So presently this is the form of our array presently. So when we've achieved this, what's now remaining is what? The last element, 2. How did we move this 2 to here? Now notice that if we do something like this, we are going to say that it is 0, for instance. That should be the index here. If you are going to do something like this, it will be wrong. Why? Because the element at index 0 has changed from 2 to 3. So if you are setting the last element to be array at index, to be the element at index 0, it means you are setting it to be 3 and not 2 again. So that's why we need to make what? A copy of the array. But already we have a copy of the array that has been made earlier, which is this. Okay, because we have it, don't need to create another copy. So I will remove this. So what I will do is I will just go to this copy of the array, and I will pick the element. What's the element I'm going to pick there? The element I'm going to pick there or move is what? 2. So this is the 2 we are talking about, but we cannot use this 2 here because already it has been replaced with 3. So 3 is not the element at index 0. So, but for us to return the in position of that 2, or for us to make sure that 2 is still the element we are picking, we'll be using this copy of the array. And this copy of the array, the position of 2 here is what? 1. That is, 2 is at index 1 here in that array copy. Good. So this is what we need to do. Now we are going to move to VS Code and replicate this. So in VS Code, I will copy this. Now repeat the process. That's moving one more unit to the left. So once I've done this, I don't need to create another copy of the array. I will only set this, the last element, to be this. So the index of this element 2 is 1. So that is what I'll put here. Good. So then last thing I'll do is to return this array. Save. The next we'll run a test on this code. Now we'll be using Jest to run our test. Already Jest has been installed, as you can see here. So we are running our test using Jest. Jest was installed in the very first video in this playlist. Okay, so we are going to create a test file that will call left rotation solution test Jest. So I'm going to create, I'm going to write the test code. Okay, is equal to retire. So our test should return an array of 5 elements repeated 2 units to the left. Expect it left. So number of rotations to an array is this. So equal after rotating 2 units to the left, our array should look like this. Okay, good. Save. So let's move here. I'll do this. Export. Save. Okay, let's run this text. Test passed. As you can see, test passed. So that means our code is correct. Next, we are going to use for loop to execute this block of code. So let's go. We'll do this. Now the length of the array we are given is 5. So we use 5 here, and increment I, our loop counter. Set this to be equal to this. Now this will take care of these 4 lines of code. That is 4 iterations. The code will be executed repeatedly using the for loop for 4 iterations. So that will take care of this. So erase this. Now we'll be working on this other 4 lines of code. That is for the second rotation to the left. So if we want to add it, okay, before we continue, there is something we need to correct here. This should not be 0, this should be 1. So then when we will count from I equals 1, so we have I equals 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 iterations. I is less than 5 here, so that means 5 is not inclusive. So we are counting from 1 to 4. Good. So after we've done that, we go to these 4 lines of code. So this for the second rotation to the left. So what we have to do is, for this, we can be able to attach it to this for loop. So if we want to attach it to this for loop, it means that we are going to change this. We change this I. This will be equal to 2, and this will be equal to 2. Now we are going to remove this. Now after that, this copy of array was created. After it has been created, we'll come here and do something. So we are going to use for loop for these 2 lines of code. What we are going to do here is this: write the for loop statement. Let I equal 0. So in this case, I should be less than 2, because we'll be using just 2 iterations. I less than 2 implies that we'll count from I equals 0 and I equals 1. That's 2 iterations. I equals 0 for this one, and I equals 1 for the second one. So 2 iterations altogether. I equals 0, I equals 1. 2 is not inclusive. Then our increment, we increment I. Now we are going to set this. Have 5 minus 2 plus I. Why did we use 5 minus 2? We use 5 minus 2 because the length of the array we are given is 5. Then how many number of rotations? 2. Then plus what? I. Now this will be equal to, we set it to array copy. I should be inside there. So now we are going to erase this, because the for loop is not taking care of the 2 lines of code. So now that we've achieved this, we test to see what will happen. test passed. As you can see, test passed. That means our code is correct even after introducing for loop. Very correct. Okay, so this is our test code that we wrote earlier, and after introducing for loop to replace the code we used to have, we still find out that the code is correct. The test was passed. Very good. Next, so we are given a second example as well. So let's go to the website. There's a second example that was given. In this case, the number of rotations here, that is d, is equal to 4. As you can see, d is equal to 4 in this case. As you can see, I'm trying to highlight it. So d is equal to 4 here, and we are given the same array. As you can see here, array containing elements 1 2 3 4 5. Now the 5 you are seeing here represents the number of elements in the array, or the size of the array, and the 4 here is representing d, that's the number of rotations to the left. So we are going to take this example, so we include it in our test and try to use the same code to run the test. Okay, to include it, we do something like this. Describe testing rotate left function. Now arrow function, so this should be inside of the braces. We'll cut and paste inside. So let me copy this and use it for the second test. So for this test, we are given the same array, the one we just looked up now at the website, but in this case d is equal to 4, so we change d to 4 here, and because there are 4 rotations to the left, the outcome should be 4 rotations. Okay, we're gonna start with 4 5 1 2 3. So let's check if this is actually 4 rotations. So 1 was initially here, so 1 moved 1. From here 1 moved 2 3. Okay, this is 3 rotations. So for 4 rotations, 5 should be here and 4 should be here. So let's confirm that from the website. This is 5 1 2 3 4. That should be the outcome. Let's confirm from the website for 4 rotations. Very good. Now look at it here. 5 1 2 3 4. So this the array that was given. After the first rotation to the left, you have this. After second rotation, you have this. After the third rotation, you have this, and finally fourth rotation, you have this. 5 1 2 3 4. So that's what we actually use. 5 1 2 3 4. So let's see. So now that we've saved, let me run the test again and see if this code will be able to take care of both tests. MPS just left rotation dot solution test.js. Oh, so see what happens. One test was passed and one failed. So look at it. First test passed. So first test is this one, which we've tested before. But the second test, which is this, the code could not take care of the second test case. So what we are going to do is we are going to adjust our code to be able to take care of any kind of test with whatever value that D is given, whether D is 80, 90, any number at all for D, and for any number of elements or any size of array. Let's quickly correct something here. So the second unit test should return an array of elements rotated not 2 units, 4 units to the left. So that's what I wanted to correct. Save. Okay, so let's go and adjust our code to accommodate array of any size with any number of rotations to the left. So these two representing the number of rotations, we change it to D. The 5 there is the number of elements in the array, so that's array.length. Change the 2 here to D. Now here, because this will be able to take care of an array of any size, what we'll do here is we are going to use the spread operator to create a shallow copy of the given array. But we can't leave it here, because here the given array with variable name R, A-double-R, it has been modified already. So that means if we leave it here, it means we'll be creating a shallow copy of the array after it has been modified. So to avoid that, we'll cut and paste at the beginning of the code so that it gives us the shallow copy of the array in its initial state. Good. So the next thing we do here, the 5 here represents the size of the array, array.length, and the 2 represents number of rotations. 2 here represents number of rotations. Okay, it's looking good now. So let's see, and let's run the test. Enter. Good. Test pass. 2 of them we are passed, as you can see. Very good. So our code is looking good. It's very correct. Guys, what we'll do now is we'll move to the website. So we are going to write the code here. After writing the code, we'll run it here by clicking on this button and see what happens. After that, we'll submit finally to see if the code is correct. Okay, let's go. Start by initializing this. Write our for loop. Okay, let's write the second for loop. Just copy this test here. I'll change this to, okay, this should be 1 here, this is 0, this should be D, and here I will have array length minus D plus I, and this copy. Okay, it's looking good. So here we'll return this. Okay, looking good. Everything is looking good. Okay, let's see. Let's run the code and see what happens. Good. Congratulations. Okay, let's submit. So when we submit, several test cases will be tested. Good, congratulations. So that means our code is very, very correct. So 6 test cases. 6 test cases we are taking care of here. Okay, not 6, 9, up to 9 test cases. So the code is very, very correct, as you can see. Okay, now what we do is we are going to screenshot this challenge and save via VS Code. Our codes are hosted on GitHub, so that after saving via VS Code, when I push the codes to GitHub, the challenge will be seen on GitHub for those that want to see this picture on GitHub. Picture showing the question or the array challenge, left rotation. So let me screenshot this. Okay, I will copy and open VS Code. I'll paste here. Okay, let me rename. Left rotation challenge. So PNG for those that want to access the question on GitHub. So when I push, they will see this picture on GitHub. Enter. So guys, this project is linked to a Git repository. So the Git repository was created in the very first video in this playlist. So everything we are doing is linked to GitHub. Okay, so now we'll have 3 new files that we created in this tutorial today. So I'll be staging these files. After staging, I'll commit. After committing, I'll push to my main branch, because your main branch, as you can see here, bottom left here, your main branch. So I'll push to my main branch after staging the files and committing. So every other file that you can see here, they are all in our Git repository. But these ones, the new ones that we just created today, we are going to push them so that they will reflect in our Git repository. Good. So these are the files, the 3 of them. left rotation challenge.png, left rotation solution.js, and left rotation solution.test.js. Okay, let's test these files. Okay, let me copy this because I will use this in my commit message. Left rotation challenge.png, left rotation solution.js, left rotation solution.test.js. Okay, enter. Okay, good. These files have been added, as you can see. Okay, let's commit them. Okay, we've committed these files. Now let's push to the main branch. Good, done. Okay, let's confirm that they've been pushed to our Git repository. I'll open my GitHub and see. Okay, this is the folder, arrays challenge, the Git repository. Okay, let's see if these files have been pushed to our main branch. Okay, look at them here. Left rotation challenge.png, left rotation solution.js, left rotation.test.js. Very good. In the description below, you will find links to the public repository housing the codes, the first video in this playlist, the HackerRank challenge I just solved, and my GitHub account. I would greatly appreciate it if you could follow me on GitHub and on all the other platforms listed in the description below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing it. Subscribing to my YouTube channel will also help you stay updated with my latest content. Don't forget to turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. For those watching on platforms other than YouTube, your support means a lot. Please like, share, comment, and follow me there as well. Thank you so much for your support. I remain your boy, Pascal.